Good afternoon, everybody. Today is March 11th, 2015, and welcome to our live market analysis for the Euro-USD. I'm the Chief Technical Analyst here at HyperFX Academy, and I'll be walking you through some of the trade setups that occurred during the US session today. As usual, we're using our basic zigzag strategy, which uses a 5-pip Renko chart, and we draw, trend lines either horizontal or angled, and once the price action crosses these trend lines, we do receive either a buy or sell signal. So I'll begin by drawing some of the trade setups that occurred today during the US session here. Our first entry would have been this down break at that position right there. As usual, once the Renko brick closes below the trend line, we enter. And how do we establish the trend line? It's as simple as connecting these two blue dots. And in this case, you notice that this blue dot is higher than the previous blue dot, so we use an angled trend line. Okay. After that downside break, we had upside break at this position here. This was a smaller movement. It went for about 10 pips or so, and then we had another downside break which took advantage of the rest of an awesome down trading trend we had today. So after this uptrend, once you receive the opposite signal, you definitely want to exit. If you did not take your 10 pips, you want to get into the opposite direction and take advantage of this nice movement down. So here's an important differentiation of whether or why we use the angled trend lines versus horizontal, and when to use each of them. You notice that this blue dot is higher than the previous, so we can use an angled trend line. This blue dot, however, is lower than the previous, so we don't use an angled trend line, and I'll show you why. If you notice, if we connect the dots using an angled trend line, there's no break in the price action. So what you want to do is, when you have a lower low, is simply use a horizontal trend line, and that will establish a support level by which, once the Renko brick crosses that level, you have another sell entry. So horizontal trend line when we have a lower low, and again once the Renko brick closed below that, we had a sell signal, and that continues. If you had missed that opportunity, you would have had another opportunity at this point. Again, a lower low, so we use another horizontal trend line, and the price action closed below that trend line at this location here. And if you had missed that opportunity or got out early, you would have had another opportunity at this point. Again, another horizontal trend line, and then another downside break at that position right there. And you can see, so we had a great morning, 4 or 5 easy entries right off the bat, an easy 50 pips early on in the day. After that, we had our first upside break at this point here. You can clearly see that the Renko brick closed above this trend line here. So that was our first buy signal, and again, it was a very nice movement up. And if you had missed that buy opportunity, again, this red dot is higher than the previous, so we use another horizontal trend line, and the price action broke there at this point here. Again, 2 beautiful buy trades. And then our final trade of the day, or before the afternoon, would have been this downside break here. Just fix that for you here, and then you can see that the price action closed below at this point here. So a great day to take trades for the Euro-USD. It was trending very nicely, and the movements were quite significant. So it was easy to capture 10 or 15 pips for each of these signals, and we had other trading opportunities later in the day, but this is when the market starts to consolidate. So you want to take advantage of the US Open, as that's when a majority of the movement does occur. So again, as usual, the zigzag indicator and the market hours indicator, you can download both of those. Just look for the link in the description. And that's our live market recap for the Euro-USD today. We'll be joining you again tomorrow afternoon with another market analysis using our basic strategy. So thank you for tuning in, and happy trading.